Good morning. This is the boards from the unit game on July 14th, 2016 at the WBL, I guess also the NVBA, and some pretty interesting hands actually, so let's go ahead and get started. So the very first board, not a very interesting board for North-South, but certainly for East-West. East is going to open 2 no trump in most tables, and West has this nice collection, 6, 10, 13 high card points. And this is actually an interesting hand. If you do find a major suit fit, it's conceivable that you could make 7, I think, if you give your partner the exact right hand. But most of the time you can look at this hand and expect that you probably just want to be in 6 no trump. But I think it's worth looking for a 5-card major if your partner has one. And then if they have like ace and 1 in one of your round suits, then it's possible that you can make 7. But you're not going to find it, so you are going to end up in 6 no trump. Even if you had a major suit fit, you might consider 6 no when you find that you are off an ace, but you don't even have a major suit fit on this one, so you're just going to play 6 no trump. And basically every South is just going to lead the 10 of diamonds, and it's going to go low, and North has a choice of either to play the ace of diamonds or to duck this trick. And I think it's actually correct to just play the ace of diamonds, because you don't want anything silly to happen. Depending on how your auction went, let's say if East has 5 hearts or something like that, you might have some issues. But basically here, even if you duck the diamond, the important thing that East should know is that South is not going to be under leading their ace of diamonds here, really, against a slam, so you can just play up towards your other diamond honor safely for your 12th trick. You should not try to do anything weird like squeeze someone or take a club finesse, because it's just it's very unlikely that South has the ace of diamonds, and it's if the club finesse loses, then you are going down, and it's not necessarily going to get you up to 13 tricks anyway. So 6 no making 6 is pretty normal across the field. Board 2, another exciting hand for East-West. So East deals and is going to open 1 heart. Again, North-South are silent in this auction. And West is going to set up a game force with 2 clubs. If you guys play that 2 hearts shows 6, you may consider bidding that. Some people may bid 2 diamonds. But whatever the case, let's say you bid 2 hearts, and West now bids 3 hearts to show 3 card support. Almost always 3 card support here. If you have a doubleton's heart suit, you would start with 2 no trump or 3 clubs and preference back to hearts. And this is just for slam purposes, to let your partner know how many trumps you have. And over 3 hearts, East has quite a good hand, 6-4 with a 14 count. So I think honestly that depending on your style and whether you play serious or non-serious cubids, this hand may actually be worth a serious cubid, because if you have the controls and you have the key cards, then you definitely have a slam. But it's okay if you give a non-serious as well. And if you don't play that, then you would just make a general sort of cubid, I think. And so if you play that 4 no trump is your key card bid, what you can actually do is you can cubid 4 clubs, which is your lowest control, and your partner has no diamond control, but they have a very good hand. They can cubid 4 spades back at you, and now you can bid key card, and the auction will develop great if you get to do this. So when you do bid key card, you will find out that your partner has 0 or 3 key cards, but you'll know that your partner has 3 key cards because they bid 4 spades. And then you can continue asking for kings, and your partner will show the king of clubs. And so here you can definitely count 3 tricks in the black suit, 6 hearts, and 3 diamonds. The problem is, I think that you still will not be able to tell about that Jack of Diamonds, so I think you'll probably just settle into 6 or 7 hearts. I don't think you can find 7 no trump because you need to know about the Jack of Diamonds for your 4th diamond loser. But in 7 hearts, you can feel pretty comfortable that you'll be able to ruff your 4th diamond. So that's how you should get to 7 hearts. If you play 4 spades as your key card bid, that's a little trickier because now I think that now you won't be able to definitively find out whether you should be in 7 or not, because the West hand actually is going to have to key card over the 4 club Q bid, I think. By the way, if you did elect to bid 4 diamonds as your Q bid rather than 4 clubs, I think that's okay too. Although if you play that 2 clubs does not promise real clubs, your partner might actually have an issue here if they have no club control, so keep that in mind. But regardless, if the West hand bids key card, now East is going to show 2 key cards with the Queen of Trumps, and then West should be able to make some sort of a slam try. So let's say they bid for 4 no trump or 4 spades, whatever, followed by 5 spades asking for kings, and East shows 6 diamonds as their earliest king. And I think West, if East has Q bid clubs, they know it's shortness, so they'll hope to be able to rough out their clubs if you don't have 13 tricks already. So I think that they can also bid 7 hearts here. But again, not really a good way to get to 7 no trump, unfortunately. Alright, board 3. So South deals, and South is going to open 1 diamond, and West has a pretty decent hand, but not enough for a no trump overcall, and not the right shape for a takeout double, so West is probably going to pass. And North just kind of has to bid a no trump, even though they have not a very good hand and very weak major suit stuff. And East passes, and here I think South has an interesting decision. You can definitely rebid your diamonds on the basis that you have a club void and you don't want to play no trump, but I think pass is also reasonable at match points since you have a very good hand, and you do score more for playing in no trump. If you make 3 diamonds versus 2 no trump, the no trump score is going to be better, and if you make 1 no trump and 2 diamonds, then it's going to break even. But certainly passing could be a pretty stupid contract if your partner has some stuff in the majors and a very weak club stopper, not like this hand. So if you pass, then you will play 1 no trump from the north, and East is going to lead a spade, and I think you're just going to probably fall into making 2 no trump, assuming that they get the cash out correct. If you do bid 2 diamonds in the south, then it's going to go pass, and East might elect to balance 2 spades now. Very dangerous. And if you pass in the south, then East will play 2 spades and probably go down 2. Now, if you have discussed with your partner what these late doubles are going to be, then you can try to make a penalty double, which will get you a few extra hundreds. And the play in 2 spades, undoubled or doubled, is pretty standard, I think. You're going to lose 2 spades and 2 hearts and 1 diamond, and however many clubs you end up losing. I think that you can avoid losing all 3 of the clubs by eventually throwing North in and having them lead away from the club. Since they do have 5 of them, they won't be able to pitch them all. And the only other thing is, if you did end up in some level of diamonds, what you'll notice actually is that if you guys never play hearts, then you can keep South from ever getting to the dummy to take a heart finesse, so that's how you would hold it to 2. Because South has no dummy entry, basically, since they have the club void. So next board, West deals and is going to open one no trump, 8, 10, 14, 16 points. And most Norths are going to overcall something. If you play mech well, you're going to bid 2 clubs, clubs and a major. If you play something else, you're going to bid 2 spades, spades and a minor. Regardless, East is probably just going to ignore you and transfer to hearts. And South will pass happily, and West will accept an invite in hearts for sure. So you're going to end up in 4 hearts. And North has an interesting lead problem against 4 hearts. What I find is a lot of the times diamonds is their second suit, so leading a diamond is not actually best. But I think that your clubs are too bad, really, to consider leading them. And often, they do have short clubs, so it doesn't really do anything for you. So I elected to lead the Jack of Diamonds. I think it's just a normal lead. And there's not so much to the play. You can start out by taking a heart finesse and getting the bad news, and then you're eventually just going to lose 2 spades. You can pitch one of them on the high diamond and rough the other one. But yeah, you're going to lose 2 spades no matter what, I think, and you're going to lose 2 trumps because I just don't think that you can pick up South's trump. South will always get the king of hearts per force, and you won't be able to rough or pitch your losers without just roughing in at some point. So 4 hearts down 1, pretty normal result. Now I did notice that some people managed to get to 3-0, and I'm curious as to how that actually happened. It's conceivable that it started with West opening a natural club, because I can't really fathom how you would get to 3-0 after you find out about a heart fit, and then North is bidding spades, and one of you has king third and the other one has 10-4 and a void somewhere else. So yeah, I don't know how you get to 3-0 actually, but it was definitely a result that some people found. And if you are in 3-0, you will make it, so that would be a great score for you. Next board, so North deals and passes, and East passes. South has a 1 spade opener, so it does that. And West here, actually, they can elect to make a takeout double if you guys are aware of the fact that, you might only have a doubleton and a minor, so you're not going to struggle to bid that minor. Or you can pass, again, totally reasonable. And North can bid 1 no trump forcing, or they can pass as well. I elected to bid 1 no forcing just because I find that, it's better to do these things. It makes life a little harder for the opponents. However, of course, you don't want to really have your partner be playing 2 spades down a couple of vulnerable tricks, that's for sure. So that's the argument for passing. And the other argument for bidding is that if your partner rebids 2 hearts, then you can pass, and probably that will be a slightly better spot than 2 spades. Regardless, 1 no, pass, and depending on what you play, you probably rebid 2 clubs or 2 diamonds. And now, if you do rebid 2 diamonds, I think that West can make a takeout double at this point. And North is going to preference to 2 spades, and East has nothing more to say, so they pass, and everyone passes, but at least you feel like you got your hand off your chest. If South rebid 2 clubs, then you don't have a takeout double of that, so I think that you are going to feel a little uncomfortable, but you're probably going to know that you guys have a 3-3 spade fit, and, not necessarily wanting to play 3 hearts. If you doubled originally, then North is going to pass, and East is going to bid 2 diamonds, and he's going to buy it there, and you're going to be able to make 2 or 3 diamonds without a problem. The way to hold you to 2 diamonds, of course, is that you need to get your 3 spade tricks, and you need to do it originally, because otherwise they do go on the clubs. So I think 2 diamonds making 3 is not an uncommon result here. But in terms of the play in some number of spades in the South, South has 2 entries to the board, which is good because they have, they want to be able to take the heart finesse twice. So West is going to start out with a high club, and their partner should discourage. But West can figure out that if South has 2 clubs, then the queen is dropping anyway. So they can continue another club and note that the queen drops and note that their partner actually did discourage. And then at this point, they want to shift. And so they can continue a club, actually, if they want to just try to tap declare a little bit, and they're worried about a diamond shift, which is not unreasonable, especially if South had bid diamonds at your table. But as it turns out, the diamond shift is going to be what is going to end up beating this contract 2, I believe. So you're going to lose 2 clubs and 2 diamonds and one heart and 1 ruff. So that's not actually what beats it 2. Let's see, what does beat it 2? Very interesting. So yeah, I think actually, interestingly enough, what might beat this contract 2 is an initial heart lead, which takes out South's ace of hearts entry back to their hand before they can unblock the spades here. Maybe that doesn't help. Well, anyway, I think if you did manage to play 2 spades, you should be going down 1, but they may let you make it depending on whether they find their diamond ruff or they force you to play diamonds out of their hands. So eventually you're going to lose 3 diamonds anyway if you do that. Next board, board 6. So East steals, and East has 11 counts with ace, ace, king. I think most people are going to open this hand. Did they open this at our table? That's a good question. They did not actually open this at our table, but I think it's a pretty normal opener. Conceivably, you could pass because you're vulnerable. If you do pass, then it's going to go pass, pass, and North is going to open a diamond, and South will bid 1 no trump. And they'll play it there. And the only key things about this hand, I think, by the way, if you don't play inverted minors by a passed hand, you can definitely raise to 2 diamonds also. But the 4-3-3 shape and somewhat weak diamonds may suggest bidding 1 no rather than doing that. Anyway, so West will lead from their longest and strongest. They'll lead a 4th best heart. And East can win and return the 9 of hearts. And now South gets to work on diamonds. And they knock out the ace of diamonds. And here West is going to play the jack of hearts and start running their hearts. And at this point, the ace of clubs is still out. So what South is going to try to do is they're going to try to prevent the opponents from shifting to a spade rather than a club. So what they're probably going to do is they're going to have to preserve 3 spades on the dummy and pitch down to singleton king of clubs and also preserve the diamond length on the dummy. And if you see your opponents doing this, by the way, where they're pitching 1 suit down to a void or singleton on the dummy, and they're hanging on to another suit. If your opponents are not very strong, then often that means that the suit that they're pitching from is the suit that they're weak in. But if your opponents are pretty good, actually, what this often means is that the suit that they are pitching from is the suit they're not worried about. That's the suit that they want to entice you to lead because they don't want, they need to keep the length and the strength in the suit that they're weak in, right? But regardless, you should be able to tell from your partner's signals what they want you to lead. So what your partner is actually going to do probably on your hearts is they are going to pitch so they followed to 1 diamond, right? So what they're probably going to do is they're going to maybe pitch their 2 diamonds And from your partner's perspective, they do want to get their ace of clubs, but they should really know that they'll get it anyway. So they should pitch an encouraging club, I think, and then they should pitch a high diamond. Hopefully now they can, your partner can work out that you have something in spades and clubs, so that if your partner does have the queen of spades, they'll shift to a spade, and if they have nothing in spades, then they'll play a club and you'll just get your trick. Interesting carding situation. You should probably discuss with your partner what you think the carding means. Oh, actually, there's some results. If you did open the East hand, then East-West are actually going to buy the hand, and they're going to play it in two hearts. And the only thing of note in two hearts, I think, is you kind of have to guess how to play the heart suit. And you have two options. You can just play for King-Queen Doubleton, or you can do something a little tricky, which is if South has 10 and 1, or Honor 10 Doubleton, then you can actually pick up that suit as well by leading low out of your hand towards the Jack, planning to run the 8, and then if South doesn't play an Honor, then you hope that he has 10 and 1, and then when you get back to the board, you lead the Jack of Hearts, trying to smother the 10 in South's hand. Kind of a complicated play, which doesn't work on this hand, but actually there's another hand where the play would have worked. But if you just play ace and a heart, then you'll be rewarded by the fact that it is King-Queen Doubleton. So yeah, probably you will make two hearts. So board 7, South deals, and most people are going to pass this hand. If you did open this hand, congratulations, because you guys are getting to 6 no trump for sure. But if you do pass, then this guy passes, and North opens a club, and it goes pass, and South bids a heart, and now North bids 2 no, and South bids 3 no. Not quite enough to make a slam try opposite an 18-19 no trump, in my opinion. And if you look at the actual hands, what you need for a slam is you need a diamond break as well as the ace of spades on side. Now at our table they did overcall a spade, so we did know that the ace of spades was on side, but again, just not quite enough to reach for that slam. And in 3 no trump, if they lead a spade, which is not unreasonable, they win the ace and return the queen of spades, and you should just win this trick playing match points, because you don't want to duck this trick, and now, then you're taking one fewer trick than the rest of the field when the diamonds break. And I think you just pay off to when the diamonds are 4-1, basically. It's just better to try to take as many tricks as possible playing match points, of course. Alright, West deals and passes. Not a very good hand over there. North passes and East opens 8, 10, 14, 18 count, actually, interest. Pretty strong hand, so they open a spade. And South has a pretty decent hand and they're not vulnerable, so I think they can try an aggressive takeout double here. Only aggressive given that your partner is a passed hand, of course. If your partner was unpassed, it would just be completely normal. So it's South doubles, and I don't know what you are playing here, but depending on what you're playing, you might bid 2 spades, or you might bid 3 spades if it's like a weak bid. So at our table, they actually bid 3 spades, which gives North kind of an interesting problem, because now they know for a fact that their partner has a singleton spade. So what I elected to do is I elected to make kind of an aggressive 4-diamond bid, which could very well work. It's not often that your partner is going to have enough to double again over 3 spades. So if they have some of East's high card points, then you could very well be making 4 diamonds, and the opponents might even be making 3 spades or down 1. So I think at match points, bidding 4 diamonds has a lot going for it. And your partner knows you're a passed hand, so they're not going to get carried away. They know that you had a really good hand and 3 spades, then you might even try 5 diamonds. But if you catch your partner on a 4-card diamond fit and some random takeout double, it's very likely that you would be making 4 diamonds. Now, as you can see on the actual deal, your partner had a pretty terrible hand for you with only 3 diamonds, and East had a lot of highs. And so here, I think East has kind of a problem over 4 diamonds. Obviously, if your opponents have been pushed into 4 diamonds, you may consider double. But here, they free bid into 4 diamonds, and you can only see 3 tricks in your hand, really. I don't think you should count the Queen of Diamonds as a trick, because you might assume that the opponents are in a 9-card fit here. So depending on how weak your partner is, they might actually be bidding or making 4 diamonds, which we were not on this deal, but you never know is the thing. So I think that if you bid 4 spades, what you're really feeling is that you're going to go down most of the time unless your partner has a singleton diamond, which is not inconceivable, but it's pretty unlikely considering your north is a passed hand and south doubled. But certainly they could be on a 5-5 diamond fit, and actually we were not playing weak 2s, so I could certainly have 6 diamonds as well. Anyway, this is a pretty tough bidding problem if the auction starts like that. You know, I don't have a good solution for you. I feel like double and 4 spades and pass are all in the game. But yeah, so regardless, if you do bid 4 spades, then you are going to go down 2, but you're going to go down 2 undoubled. And if you pass, then you're going to beat 4 diamonds. And if you double, you're still going to beat 4 diamonds. So as you can see, what works on this deal is to either pass or double here. And I think that the big deterrent against bidding 4 spades is that you have queen and 1 diamond. If your partner showed a weak 4 spade, or weak 3 spade bid, it's very unlikely that you're going to make it. So I don't see why you should purposefully bid for a minus here. So board 9, very interesting hand. I was the north hand, and I picked up this nice collection with 8 spades. And I was asked, if you play a strong club, should you open a club or a spade on this hand? And I believe that it's right to open 1 spade, because if you open 1 club and then show, you can't let this out below game, basically, just because there's so many ways that you could make a game. But you're going to show a much bigger hand when you open a club and game force than if you just open a precision spade and jump to 4 spades. That basically describes your hand very well. And so now the question is, if you're playing standard, should you open 1 spade or 4 spades? And for me, the influential factor here is going to be the colors. So if you open 4 spades, the opponents are going to play you for some sort of a preemptive hand, and they're going to bid a lot of the times when they would not have in other auctions. So, and here you have the kind of hand that suggests that if the opponents are bidding to the 5 level, then they're going to be right. Because while you have a lot of high card points, your round suit queens are not worth anything, and you have extra length in spades, so your spade tricks are not worth anything in their contract either. So even though you have a 16 count, you very likely only have 2 defensive tricks against whatever they play. And the other thing is that because you're white and they're red, then even if you allow them to find a fit at a lower level, they may not want to save over 4 spades since they're vulnerable, you know? So I think that opening 1 spade, which will allow the opponents in, but it's very unlikely that they'll take a red on white save against you, is actually the right call. And if you do have a slam, of course, that is going to make it much easier for you to find, rather than opening a white on red 4 spades where you could really have anything. So I think at most tables it will go 1 spade, pass, and your partner should probably bid a forcing no trump, planning to preference to spades. And West is going to overcall 2 hearts, and now you jump to 4 spades, and then no one has a call. So you will make 4 spades, and if you notice that East-West have 5 hearts. Now if you elect to open 4 spades, it's going to go pass, and West, being 6-5 with a void, may just take a shot at 5 hearts. And here, you would double 5 hearts to say that you have a good 4 spade bid. You want your partner to do something, and your partner is probably going to bid 5 spades with ace-third of your trump suit, and you'll go down 1. So it's a kind of funny hand where, actually, if you let your opponents bid, get their hands off their chest at a lower level, it's very unlikely that they will compete to the 5 level, being vulnerable versus not, and you know you have a pretty decent amount of high card points here. If the colors were reversed, you may consider opening 4 spades, because if the opponents do find their fit and they're white, they're much more likely to bid over you. And there's nothing to the play, of course. Just you lose your 4 tricks. So now board 10, East deals and passes, and South opens a club, and West passes. And I think for these kinds of hands, it's right to just bid an inverted 2 clubs rather than a diamond, because it can be a little hard to catch up. And your partner, if your partner is 3-3 in the minors, then you're not going to be playing a minor anyway, so you don't really want to worry about not being able to show your diamonds. And if your partner has 4 diamonds, then they have at least 5 clubs. Otherwise, they would have opened a diamond, so it's fine. So if you do bid 2 clubs, your partner's probably going to bid, depending on what you play, they're going to show a balanced hand and an accept, and regardless, you're just going to play 3 no trump. And not really anything to the play in 3 no trump. They're going to lead a spade, you're going to win the spade, and you can try a diamond up. Or you can just start cashing your clubs, and then after you start cashing your clubs, then you could cash some hearts, and you will make 10 tricks, basically. Hard to not make 10 tricks, and hard to take any more than that. So this board, South deals, and West has a very normal 1 spade overcall, which they didn't make at my table actually. But let's look at what the auction goes if it goes 1 club, 1 spade, pass. And East has kind of a tricky bidding problem. Personally, I like 2 no trump, which is the value bid here. I know of one person who bid 2 hearts and one person who bid 2 diamonds. If I was going to bid one of my suits, I would definitely bid hearts, but I still would like to have 5 of them. So I don't really dislike a 2 no bid here. Now, if you do bid 2 no, it's going to go all pass, and I'm not sure what South is going to lead here. If they start with a high club to look at the dummy, then actually this is going to be problematic for you, because for the defense, because I think that you can probably make 2 no trump once this happens, because you have the timing. But if they do lead a spade, then they'll be able to beat you 2 tricks. As it turns out, the contract you want to get to is 3 clubs or 2 clubs. It's hard to get to that when the auction starts a club, a spade. But anyway, so at our table it did go a club pass, and now I showed hearts, and partner bid a spade, and I passed. And now East made a takeout double, and West did well to not leave the double in, I think. They bid 1 no trump. And so now I raised to 2 spades, and East has kind of a problem here again. So at our table they elected to bid 2 no trump, because I think 3 clubs might be some sort of a forward-going club cue. It wouldn't necessarily be natural. Anyway, this auction gets a little screwed up. And the only key here is that the defense against some level of no trump, you're going to lead a spade to partner's king, and declare is going to probably win this, and they're going to work on clubs. So when they work on clubs, South is going to win the king and play a spade through, and you should be able to tell from partner's spade spot, and also the fact that your partner only has 4 spades, that there's no future in continuing spades from your side, so you need to work on something else. And actually what's interesting is you're going to see that on the spade lead, that East is probably going to pitch a diamond rather than a heart, which is going to mark them with the Jack of Hearts for doing that. And the fact that they pitch, that they're feeling the need to hang on to diamonds, probably means that they don't have the Ace of Diamonds. So now you can shift to a diamond from the north hand and drive out the diamond stopper, and now East-West are just going to hurriedly cash out for their 6 tricks, for down 1 in 1 no, or down 2 in 2 no, or down 3 in 3 no, wherever you end up. So now, board 12, West deals, again that ace-ace-king hand, which some people will open and some people will not. Again, at our table, they didn't open it, so I got to open the north hand, which I opened 1 no trump. And I think if your suit textures were a little bit different, you could consider 1 heart. But here, just with all the strong doubletons and the weak trump suit, I did open 1-0 and this floated. And now East elected to lead a diamond. And the only key thing here is that when they lead the 3 of diamonds, then you should play the 8 of diamonds under the ace to conceal the 2, because you want to make it look like your partner might have a 5-card suit so that they continue diamonds. You certainly don't want them to shift to clubs or anything like that. If they do continue diamonds, they'll probably will play diamonds. You'll win in your hand, take a losing heart finesse. And West has to decide on a shift again. And I think that North is going to pitch a suit from the dummy, and depending on which suit they pitch, honestly, it may influence what you shift to. The only key thing here I would say is that if they do pitch a spade, you probably should shift to a club, just because it's weird for them to pitch a spade. You can look at your hand, you have ace 9 8 4th, right? But it's a little tricky for sure. Ideally, your partner would have been able to signal you with the size of their diamond spot, which suit they preferred. So they should probably play back their lowest diamond, the 5, and then that would allow you to know for a fact that your partner did want a club through rather than a spade. So if you did play a club through, then you'll be able to hold north-south to 1, and if you played a spade through, then they're going to basically make 2 all day. Okay, board 13 was kind of interesting. So I don't know how many of you opened 2 hearts on the north hand at both vol. I did, or the equivalent. We've actually played multi, so I opened multi. And my partner was very good about not going overboard. He asked me about my hand. I said I had a terrible hand, and we ended up playing 3 hearts from the south. And if you'll notice, against 3 hearts, you do have, they have 5 tricks against it on a diamond lead, which is a very normal lead, by the way, to lead a diamond. Sure, sometimes it's going to go into the ace-queen, but like, what else can you do, right? You're certainly not leading a trump, and you don't really want to lead either of your black aces, so I think a diamond lead and just hope for the best from that side. Now, if you passed, then your partner is going to open a no trump, and you're going to transfer, and you're still going to play some number of hearts. And the only key thing here is that I think that if your partner does open 2 hearts, you have 6, 10... Oh, you actually have an 18 count, so they're not going to open a no trump, most likely. They're going to open a diamond, and it's going to go... Probably West will double, because they have a pretty decent hand, and North will bid a heart, and South will bid a 2 no trump, and North would sign off in hearts. And in order to beat hearts, I think that either East has to lead a diamond, which is not super likely, or they have to lead a club and shift to a diamond. Again, not super likely. So a lot of the times you will be making 3 hearts. But yeah, it's just, when you're the south hand, you might as well just check on your partner's... At least if you have a style where you might be opening the north hand 2 hearts, then you should probably check to make sure your partner doesn't have that really terrible hand over there. If you pass, that's totally normal too. It just depends on your preempt style, whether you have an aggressive preempt style or not. And I think that second seat vulnerable, you definitely would not open this hand. But first seat, both vulnerable, it's conceivable. It just depends on your style. Alright, board 14, very interesting board here. So it's going to go pass, and South is going to open 1 no trump. And at non-vol, West can throw in a majors bid, but personally I would not, just because, my partner is a passed hand, and it's non-vol, but it's not like I'm white on red, so it's a little scary. So I would pass, and now North is going to bid Stamen, planning to bid 3 diamonds over a 2 spade response. And now East can maybe stick their neck out with 2 spades. A very, very dangerous and scary move, but here, now South is going to pass, and West is going to jump to 4 spades, which is just going to put North on a guess. as to whether to double 4 spades or to bid 5 diamonds. I think that bidding 5 diamonds rates to be right here. And actually, if the auction does time out that way, South with their 3 aces might actually kick it into 6 diamonds, which you'll notice is cold from the north side because you can't lead a club. So the club loser goes away on the ace of spades. So if you did have that kind of an auction, then that's very sad for you. But, what's more likely going to happen is that if you do perpetuate that auction, the North-South will play 5 diamonds and you'll get a great score. And, yeah, so if it does go 2 spades pass, then I think that you should definitely find a raise to some level. Regardless, I think... so now if you bid 3 spades, again, this puts North-South in a very difficult problem. I think that it's unlikely that they will get to 3-0 if you do that either. If you pass throughout, then they will get to 3-0, and you'll score, I think you'll get a average minus for them being in 3-0 making 5. So South deals 4, 8, 11, and if you could open this hand, actually my partner elected to pass this hand, I think because we were vulnerable and they were not, and you have pretty poor spots. So if you do pass this hand, then West is going to open 1 diamond, and North is going to overcall 1 heart. East is going to double, and South will give a limit raise. And now West is probably going to pass this, and North is just going to bid 2 hearts, and it's going to go pass, and now West can decide at match points, do they want to make an aggressive 3 club overcall, which I think has a lot going for it since you're not vulnerable, and you don't really want to just sell out to 2 of a major when they found their 8 card fit. So if you do bid 3 clubs, then East is going to preference back to 3 diamonds, and I think South is probably going to just raise to 3 hearts, hoping that you can make it, which you can't. So you'll be in 3 hearts down 1. Pretty normal result here. If you sell out to 3 diamonds, they actually do make 3 diamonds. So you're going to do a little worse. But the key here is that at match points, especially when you're not vulnerable, you can be a little aggressive, even if you've already opened your 11-point hands, just because it's so bad to let the opponents play 2 of a major and make 110. So now this board, West deals, and at East-West vulnerable, you might open 2 diamonds if you have that available to you, or you might pass. If you pass, North is going to open 1 spade, and East is most likely going to bid a no trump, and South is going to pass. And now West should probably transfer to diamonds, whatever your bid is, and North is going to bid 3 hearts. And East has a really good hand, so I think that they should probably super accept diamonds. They should probably just bid 4 diamonds, and South is going to bid 4 hearts. And, if your partner has overcalled a no trump and bid 4 diamonds, I would just hope for the best, and I would just give 5 diamonds a go. But alternatively, if you don't feel comfortable, you could pass, and East is probably just going to double 4 hearts. And they're probably not going to know what to lead. I think leading the ace of diamonds is very reasonable because your opponents are bidding a lot, and it's unlikely that South has the king of diamonds. So you're probably not blowing a trick here. And definitely North doesn't have king and 1 diamond. But if you don't do that, if you just lead a trump, then they're going to draw 2 rounds of trumps and play a spade up to the queen and a spade to your ace. And here, now you can cash the ace of diamonds, upon which your partner should probably give you count on this trick. And you can cash the ace of clubs, and then you just have to figure out what suit to continue next to beat 4 hearts. And now as you notice, if you did bid to 5 diamonds, which I think you should, I don't think that you should be defending 4 hearts on these cards, then you will make it without a problem. as all your losers will go away on the clubs. Alright, so now North deals, pass, 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 and West is going to get to open one no trump. And now if you play the thing where double shows a 4-card major and a longer minor, you can do that. If you play 2 clubs as clubs and a major, you could do that also. And East has an interesting bidding problem, and I think that they could go a lot of different ways. They could just make a no trump invite. If you have an ability to make a diamond invite, you could do that. Or you could just gamble out 3-no, hope for the best. If your North did elect to bid in your auction, then I would be a little wary now, because the singleton heart is a little scary, that they might be able to run some hearts before you set up your very, very weak diamond suit. So, depending on your judgment, you're either going to end up in some level of no trump, or you're going to end up in some amount of diamonds. And in diamonds, you can just you can lob a diamond up and see what happens, basically. And if it goes 9, you can stick in the jack, planning to finesse again. And if South sticks in an honor, then you can win the ace and then draw out the diamonds. But kind of a nothing board when you're playing in diamond contract. Now, if you get to a no trump contract, North is going to lead fourth from their longest and strongest. They're going to lead a 5 of clubs, and it's going to go low queen. And now South has to be careful. They have to not play back the 10 of clubs, because it's going to go 9 on their left, and they can see that it's a no-lose play to just play back a low club. If you do play back the 10 of clubs, you'll notice that now suddenly East-West have a second club stopper. Whoopsie. The good news for you guys is that if you do this, then if you do this, then your hands are still strong enough that you can manage to beat two no trump if that's where 3 no trump if that's where they are. Yeah, I think so. So they're gonna cross in spades and lob a diamond up, and you can split or not split. If you did not throw in the 10 of clubs, then I think it's probably right to split, because you know the clubs are ready to go. But otherwise, probably right to play low. West sticks in the jack, cashes the ace, and exits a diamond to you. And so now you should return a high heart. And if West can figure out to cover the second heart, then they will still have a heart stopper with the 9, so they'll only go down 1. If they cover the first heart, what you have to figure out as North is to play a heart back to your partner so they can lead another heart to you, to pick up the 9 of hearts. But certainly much easier if you don't play the 10 of clubs at trick 2. Alright, next board. So East deals, and a lot of people will open this hand. So if you open a club, it goes pass. West probably tries 1 diamond. North passes. East bids a spade. And West probably bids 4 suit forcing, over which I think East is going to bid 2 diamonds, and West is going to jump to 3 no trump, hopefully to try to show a pretty decent hand. Otherwise, they would not have gone through 4 suit forcing. They would have just jumped to 3 no originally. And you know, as the North hand, personally, I would just shrug and lead a heart. Certainly leading from the ace, queen, 10, 4th is kind of iffy, but, you know, it's not, you know, you just have to catch your partner with, like, the king of hearts or some favorable heart layout. And it's not likely your partner has the king of hearts, of course, but, yeah. So anyway, if you do lead a heart, then they're going to win the jack. Now they're going to take the club finesse into you. And you can either cash out now, or you can exit passively and hope to score your ace queen of hearts. At our table, they passed the East hand, and West got to show an 18 to 19 balanced hand, so I was able to ascertain that they had all the remaining high cards, and that if I didn't cash out, it was certainly possible they were taking the rest, so I just cashed out and made 5. As to what lead is correct on this hand, I'm not really sure. Ace of Hearts is actually a possible lead, and if you do lead the Ace of Hearts, you continue the Queen of Hearts, driving out the King, and now East-West actually has to guess the club suit correctly in order to make their contract. So, board 19. So South deals and passes, West passes, North passes, so East has the good hand. So East has an 18 count, so they open a spade, and it goes pass, and West bids 2 spades, and East is going to bid 4 spades. If you have good system, you can give 3-no thought, which, as it turns out, does just as well as 4 spades. Yeah, so most people will be in 4 spades here. South will lead the high diamond, and you can go ahead and win this diamond. And if you'll notice, you can make 5 spades, but it's a little tricky. What you have to do is you have to win the diamond, and while you're on the board, you have to take a spade finesse immediately, and then draw trumps, and then run your hearts, pitching a diamond. And while you're still on the board now, you have to run the 10 of clubs. So if you did that, then you get, super good props here. But if you didn't do that, then what you probably did was you probably crossed to the Ace of Hearts. And you actually might as well cross in spades first, and then cash the Ace of Hearts, and overtake the heart, pitching a diamond, and now take a spade finesse. And now, unfortunately, you won't have an entry back to pick up clubs, so you have to lose 2 club tricks for making 4. So now this board, so West deals, and it should open 2 hearts. They didn't open 2 hearts at our table, which kind of made life very confusing. But probably at most tables, I imagine they'll open 2 hearts. North overcalls 2 spades, and it goes pass. And South will probably give 3-no a go. And against 3-no, West will lead the King of Hearts, or the Queen of Hearts if you play Rusino. And it's going to go low 10. So now I think actually that South can just win this trick. And what they want to do here, because they really don't want a diamond shift. That diamond shift would be very scary for them. So what they want to do here is they want to set up their suits and be able to do everything. So I think the first thing you want to do is you want to unblock the Queen of Spades. And you do have a secondary heart stopper, so I think it's all right to, let's just count your tricks here. So if you have 6 spades, 1 heart, 1 diamond, and 1 club, that's 9 tricks. So if you lead a low club out of hand, and West wins, they can cash 2 hearts, but you'll probably be able to get a 10th trick in the wash. Is there anything else you can do? If you cross to the Ace of Diamonds, run your spades, and take a club finesse, you're only ever going to get 10 tricks. So I think probably the right play then is to unblock the Queen of Spades and just play a low club out of hand. And West is going to win, and probably they're going to cash their 2 hearts. But if they don't cash their 2 hearts, now all your suits are ready to go, and you'll be able to take the rest after taking a club finesse. And the only key here is that in no trump, they can do very well against you if they manage to find the diamond shift. So that's why you need to win that first heart. If you got to 4 spades, which is the other possible contract, 4 spades is a little double dummy. They're going to lead the 10 of hearts, and you're going to have clues as to how to play the hand if they open 2 hearts. You can go up with the Ace of Hearts, and now you can run the Jack of Diamonds to East, knowing that they have no more hearts to return. And then when you cross back to your diamond, to your hand, they won't ever be able to play hearts, essentially. And you'll be able to draw trumps. At our table, they didn't open 2 hearts. I didn't have those clues, so I just tried a heart, which didn't work. So then I only made 4. Now board 21, North deals and passes, and East, if you have a 2-diamond opener, you can certainly open 2 diamonds, otherwise you would pass. And South opens 1 spade, and West passes. North should probably bid a forcing no trump, and East passes, and South bids 2 spades, and everyone lets it go. If you do bid 2 diamonds, regardless, then South is still going to bid 2 spades. And 2 spades just goes down 2. You're going to lose 3 hearts and 3 clubs, and you're going to lose 1 spade. So down 2. Not really any way to get around that, unfortunately, for you. So now 22. East has 13 points, is going to open with diamond. South passes. West bids 1 heart. And North kind of has an interesting bidding problem. And I think that the closest thing that you want to do is you want to just bid a no trump. So it's more like 15 to 18, so you're definitely strong for that. But since your opponents are both bidding vulnerable, they both have something, so your partner very likely has nothing. So if you bid 1 no trump, East is going to make a support double, and South is going to pass, and West is actually going to probably consider leaving this in with 8 points, knowing that you can't have more that you have at least half the deck. But the other option, of course, is they're just going to bid 2 hearts, and they're going to play it there. And you can actually pick up the heart suit by doing the same intra finesse that we talked about earlier, running the heart spot and then leading the jack to smother the 10, which actually works on this deal, funny enough. But against 2 hearts in the West, North will probably lead the ace of diamonds, and then they will just flounder around, and you're either going to make 2 or you're going to make 3, basically. North can't do very much against your contract. The best they can hope to do is maybe hope to give their partner a spade ruff so they can continue with the jack of spades, but that's not going to work, and nothing's going to work for North-South. And at our table we actually had a funny result because one person tried to make a support double, the other one thought it was a penalty double, so they actually came after us and 2 clubs doubled, which unfortunately we cannot make, so we went for 300 on this board. But just kind of funny, like with without the misunderstanding, then going after the opponents is marginal, but with the misunderstanding you go after them and it's right, even though I had a 19 count. Alright, next board. South deals and opens a diamond, and North bids 2 clubs, and East has a pretty good hand, but don't think they have safety to do anything, so they pass. And South probably bids 2 spades, and North will bid 3 clubs, because their heart stopper is kind of tenuous. And if you play Robinson style, then over 3 clubs, South can bid 3 spades, to show that they have, particularly good spades and no heart stopper. And now North can try 3 no trump if you feel like Queen Third is good enough, or you may judge that you no longer want to play 3 no after this start. So if you do bid to 5 clubs, then you will make it, since the spade finesse is on side and the diamonds can't guess them wrong. But if you do try 3 no, then I think that South may just pass, and East-West will be able to run the first 5 hearts and the ace of diamonds. Alright, last board. So West deals and passes, and North has a 10 count, so they pass. East opens 1 heart, South passes, West bids 1 spade, and now if you want, you can make a 2 diamond overcall as a passed hand. I personally don't think this hand is really worth bidding yet, so I passed, and East bids 2 clubs, and West should probably give a false preference back to 2 hearts. In case your partner does have a good hand and is planning to bid again, you want to cooperate with them. And so East is just going to pass 2 hearts. And the the hand is very friendly. The hearts are 3-3, the spades are the queen on side. So basically, there's not much to the play. You're just going to draw trumps and play some spades, and then you won't actually need to take a safety play in clubs or anything like that, because your 4th club managed to go on the 4th spade. Presumably they'll cash a diamond at some point along the way. So then you'll make 170. So yeah, 20-point game. Gotta bid those. So yeah, anyway, so those were the hands from tonight. Again, there are a few more hands, but just go over the ones that we played in the open game, as we always play 1 through 24. Sometimes I guess we play 1 through 26, but skipping 2. Yeah, and if you have any questions, comments, as always, feel free to contact me, and I hope you enjoyed.